Every day, we hear the exact same claims. We're literally bombarded by these sensationalist headlines and breathless predictions about artificial intelligence, right?
It's so easy to feel completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of it all. But pause for just a second. What if everything you've been told about AI is wrong?
You know the claims. Claim number 1. AI will replace everyone. Entire industries just wiped out overnight by software.
Then there's claim number 2. AI is smarter than humans. We're constantly told it's this unstoppable superintelligence, capable of outthinking us at every single turn.
And of course, claim number 3, AI will inevitably take over the world. But seriously, how many of these claims are actually true? Today, in this explainer, we're separating myth from reality. We're stripping away the sci-fi hype to look at the hard economic, physical, and technological realities of artificial intelligence.
Section 1. The intelligence illusion. Is AI really thinking? Okay, let's dismantle one of the most pervasive, kind of philosophical myths out there. The myth tells us that AI thinks like humans and that it's right on the verge of waking up and becoming conscious. Well, the sobering reality? Generative AI doesn't think. It processes. It is essentially autocomplete on steroids. It has absolutely no mental model of the physical world. It doesn't understand gravity or friction or cause and effect. It just predicts the next word in the sequence based on pure statistical probability. So when you ask it a question, it's not pondering the profound meaning of your words. It's just rapidly calculating which words historically appear next to each other in its massive training database. It's incredibly sophisticated math, heavily disguised as human comprehension.
Now, this psychological trap actually has a name. It's called the ELIZA effect. It was first observed way back in 1966 at MIT with a very primitive chatbot named, you guessed it, ELIZA. And it proves that when a machine produces syntactically perfect text, we humans literally can't help but project a soul onto it. Even the scientists who built ELIZA caught themselves talking to it as if it were a real therapist. It's basically a fundamental flaw in our own human hardware. We falsely attribute intentionality, empathy, and deep reasoning to a probabilistic machine that possesses absolutely zero self-awareness. It's really just a mirror reflecting our own intelligence back at us, an illusion we willingly buy into because, well, we're hardwired for social connection.
Think about that for a second. This crucial point is actually validated by Yann LeCun. He's the chief AI scientist at Meta and a true pioneer of modern AI. He notes that large language models simply produce one token after another. It is entirely reactive. There is no deliberate, slow reasoning happening behind that screen. In fact, think about this. A 4-month-old human baby has a better working model of physics, intuition, and reality than our most advanced trillion-parameter text models. AI has mastered language, sure, but language is just a thin, compressed shadow of actual human thought. It's the output of intelligence, not the intelligence itself.
And this is exactly why prominent researchers call these models stochastic parrots. Just like a parrot perfectly mimicking a pirate on a ship, they probabilistically repeat training data without genuinely understanding a single thing they're saying. The parrot doesn't know what a doubloon is, it just knows the sound, right? Because these models don't have lived experiences, sensory input, or physical grounding, they cannot independently discern fact from fiction. They are incredibly impressive mimics, capable of stringing together beautiful poetry or complex code, but they completely lack true awareness and intent. Which actually leads us to a very dangerous assumption.
Section 2. The infallibility trap. The dangerous assumption of AI perfection.
So we often assume that because a machine uses complex math and lives inside a computer, it must be completely neutral, objective, and flawless. Guys, that is incredibly dangerous. AI is only as unbiased and accurate as the data it was trained on. If you feed it flawed human history, messy internet forums, or data sets filled with massive historical gaps, it doesn't just reflect those flaws, it often amplifies them. And when it doesn't know an answer, it doesn't just raise its hand and admit defeat. No, it hallucinates false information, passing off complete fabrications with absolute robotic confidence. It assumes this veneer of perfection that can easily trick even the most seasoned experts.
To put a really shocking number on this, a recent study analyzed outputs from an advanced AI code generation tool. They found a 29.6% vulnerability rate, nearly 30%. That means almost a third of the generated code outputs contained dangerous security flaws. This completely shatters the myth of perfect machine accuracy. People assume they can just copy-paste AI outputs and head out to lunch, but the reality is that human experts and human oversight remain an absolutely critical safety net. You simply cannot blindly trust an algorithm that doesn't understand the real-world consequences of a software vulnerability.
Moving on to Section 3.
The automation anxiety. Will machines take our jobs and creativity?
Okay, let's clarify the economic reality here. The myth that AI will wholesale replace all jobs and just end human creativity, it's a profound misunderstanding of task-based economics. Listen closely. AI does not replace entire jobs. It replaces specific tasks. By automating the boring, routine, repetitive workflows, drafting basic emails, sorting data, the actual demand for high-level human judgment, deep intuition, and complex problem-solving goes way up. And as for creativity, AI doesn't create with a soul or a lived experience. It literally just remixes the past. It looks at millions of previous designs or songs and basically averages them out. True originality still absolutely requires that human spark.
Human creativity, critical thinking, and teamwork remain the irreplaceable gears driving innovation. And AI doesn't sit down and strategize for your unique, chaotic business problem. It doesn't build emotional trust with your high-profile clients, and it certainly doesn't apply lived human experiences to nuanced, sensitive situations. Being a human in the loop isn't just some temporary role until the robots fully take over. It is the core engine of the future workforce. The synthesis of machine speed and human context is where the real magic, the real value actually lies.
This introduces a super powerful economic concept known as so-so automation. Your fear shouldn't be a sci-fi superbrain taking over the world. It should be companies using basic, flawed AI just to cut wages, completely ignoring the massive hidden costs of supervising these error-prone systems. Think of those frustrating automated customer service menus or clunky synthetic voices. This so-so tech displaces basic tasks, but fails to yield massive overall productivity gains. And crucially, it fails to create new high-value platforms for skilled human work. We need AI that actually augments our capabilities, not AI that merely pinches pennies at the expense of quality.
Section 4. The hidden infrastructure. Grounding the cloud.
The tech industry absolutely loves the word cloud. It sounds light, airy, autonomous, magical even. But we must completely destroy the myth of frictionless, cheap automation. The cloud is just someone else's server. And AI, it's a highly extractive physical industry. It is not weightless, and it is certainly not cheap. The amount of money, natural resources, and human capital required to build and maintain these systems is genuinely staggering. AI is born in the earth and built on the backs of hidden human laborers, operating far, far out of sight from those sleek interfaces we all use every day.
The physical anatomy of AI is staggeringly heavy. To build the hardware, it requires brutal mining conditions in places like the Democratic Republic of Congo for cobalt and massive ecological disruption for lithium. To train the models, well, that requires data centers that consume energy at the scale of entire nation-states. They're boiling away billions of gallons of fresh water just to keep the servers from melting down. And perhaps worst of all, it relies on an invisible global army of ghost workers. These are underpaid data labelers, often in the global south, spending their days filtering out deeply toxic, traumatic content just so our chatbots seem clean, safe, and autonomous. It is a massive, physical, human-powered supply chain.
Section 5. The equality deception. Who actually wins in the AI boom?
We have to snap back from this utopian promise that AI inherently levels the playing field, democratizes intelligence, and just benefits everyone equally. Because it requires unimaginable computational power and massive proprietary datasets to train these leading models, it fundamentally concentrates wealth and power. A handful of tech monopolies are hoarding the compute, scraping the public domain, and building massive moats around the technology. They are capturing the vast majority of the value while passing all the externalities, like job disruption or environmental impact, straight onto the rest of society.
Sure, an AI chatbot might write your email faster and offer some neat individual conveniences, but at a macro level, it often operates as a massive, hidden data grab. Your personal information, your artwork, your coding, your online conversations, it is all treated as free raw material to train commercial models. This dynamic normalizes constant surveillance in the workplace and online, driving industry self-dealing that's brilliantly disguised under the marketing banner of AI for public good. We really have to ask ourselves, whose good is actually being prioritized when our collective knowledge is enclosed for private profit?
Section 6. The human future. Empowerment over obsolescence.
Ultimately, the future won't belong to AI. The future will belong to the people who understand AI better than everyone else. By seeing past these illusions, by recognizing that AI is a flawed, resource-intensive tool rather than some infallible conscious overlord, you can leverage this technology without being exploited by it. So, I want to leave you with a question. Which AI myth do you think is the most dangerous? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to FutureShock for more insights into the future of technology and humanity. See you in the next explainer.